And like all Englishmen, well, I'm born in England, I've never called myself English. You'll never meet an Englishman who calls himself English because we're British. The Scots will never describe themselves as British. Ditto the Welsh. And I think the Irish too. But we English, no, we're British. It's English Day. And one of the cliches, I think, one of the ways in which the English are tarred around the world, one of the ways in which the English tar themselves sometimes, is by saying that the English love a loser. If somebody is successful, you know, the English will say that nobody will touch them with a barge pole. Nobody will celebrate it. Nobody will be glad for them. Nobody will want to know about them. The English love a loser. That's how the sentiment goes. Is that true? Free call 0500 10 53 89. Not on your Nelly. Nothing could be further from the truth. The English, God damn it, I sometimes really wish it wasn't so, are just about the most successful nation planet Earth has ever seen. Not just in terms of per head of the population, but when you look at the number of sports that the English play, apart from the American ones, baseball and gridiron, there isn't a sport that the English don't play, and they play it almost as well as anybody else. They are a nation of winners, but being so damn modest all the time, they like to pretend that it's the losing which interests them. I think the English gave the world the phrase that losing is more interesting than winning. But underneath it all, you know, when you scratch that bowler-hatted and umbrellaed exterior, you get a bunch of people who will win at all costs, and love pretending that they never even broke sweat doing it. This is called the Corinthian spirit. This is why the Brits loved that chap Eddie the Eagle. The English loved Eddie the Eagle, because Eddie the Eagle didn't stand a chance, did he? The skiing guy, the guy who did the ski jumping, the guy who only jumped about 40 yards when the Norwegians were all doing 160 yards. Why? Because he thought he'd give it a go. And we knew he wasn't going to do very well. But what appeals to the English is pitching up, borrowing somebody else's boots, waxing your moustache, going out and giving Johnny Foreigner a good drubbing, and then being the first one changed and pouring out the tea afterwards. Yes. The barely troubled amateur, the Corinthian spirit. That's what the English love. But when it comes to deciding whether they like or don't like a winner or a loser, first of all, the English have difficulty knowing whether someone is a winner or a loser. Was Margaret Thatcher a loser? Was Margaret Thatcher a loser? Free call 0500 10 53 89. The way she had to leave office, the fact that when she left office, unemployment was higher than when she took office, inflation was higher than when she took office, the GDP was lower than when she took office. Was Margaret Thatcher a loser? Free call 0500 10 53 89. It's easier to do with sport. Take Ian Botham. Was he a loser? He didn't win anything. And then there's Frank Bruno. Was he a loser? He didn't win anything, did he? Free call 0500 10 53 89. And women. Why do women hate Nick Faldo so much? He's the only British sportsman in the last 30 years who has clearly been unsurpassably, beyond argument, the very best in a major sporting field. And I've never met a woman who didn't put her head round the dining room door and go, is it golf? Yes. Is Nick Faldo losing? Yes. Oh, good. Huh. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Phil calls from London. Phil, you're on Talk Radio. Hi.
Hi. I'm just calling to say that we don't hate losers. Well, sorry, we don't love losers. We hate them. What we do is we pin so much hope onto the British gladiators that go out there and stick George's cross to Johnny Foreigner.
Yes.
That when they fail, yes, that's all we've got to talk about. When yes, they win, yes, we're a bit shy about it. That's what I think.
Yes.
Take Carl Fogarty. Have you heard of him?
Yes.
The
Some motorcyclist,
World Superbike Championships.
Yes.
Yeah, he's won it 3 times in a row now.
Yes.
2 years in between, he was 4th and then 2nd, and that was on poorer machinery.
Yes.
Now the guy's gone out there and he's stuck it to him. But
Yes.
who knows about him? You know his name, but you don't know what his achievements are, do you?
No.
Exactly. But everyone would hear if he fell off. That's the point.
That's true, and the same goes with skiing. I do enjoy it when they fall over.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing about the English. I think that we're a bit shy about our achievements, to be honest with you.
Bill, thank you for your call. Free call 0500 10 53 89. I'm Tommy Boyd. It's English Day on Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
It's English Day on Talk Radio with IKEA.
I mean, then there's the state of the English football team. I don't understand this. 1 minute they nearly won the World Cup, and their 12-year-old centre-forward scored the greatest goal in the history of the civilised world. And the next minute they can't wait to fire everybody and replace everybody because of a couple of predictable results. Are the English football team a bunch of losers? Is Glenn Hoddle a loser? I come to think of it, I mean, what has he ever won? A free call 0500 10 53 89. And I'm really pleased that lots of commentators are having to eat humble pie about super kid Michael Owen, because when Hoddle left him out at the beginning of the English World Cup, they all said it was ridiculous. But Hoddle was right. He knew that Michael Owen wasn't a 90-minute England footballer yet. He may be one day, but he isn't yet. He's a super sub. So start him off with Shearer and Sheringham. Bring Owen on when there's 20 minutes to go. Hoddle's only playing Michael Owen because of the flipping press and one or two flipping know-nothing English football fans. Is there a more stupid fan in the world than the English football fan? No. Now there is a loser. Bob calls from North London.
Hello, Tommy.
Bob.
Hi. Tom, it's not all about winning or losing, it's all about trying. We love triers. Don't matter whether they're the underdogs or whatever. If they're trying, they've got all our utmost respect, everything.
No.
Tom, it's all about trying.
Never, Bob. Never. It's all about the result.
No, the result is material. It's material in the end. But during the competition, you love a trier.
No,
you love a trier.
No,
Tom.
you want them to win, you want them to score.
Tom, I want to shake hands with the triers, not with the winners.
Such as?
Well, I mean...
Who's a trier?
You've done me, you always do it.
Bye, Bob, bye. He was a trier. David calls from the West Midlands. David, you're on Talk Radio.
Hello, Tom.
David.
We love to lose, Tom. We love to lose.
We love to lose.
Yeah, because we learn from the experience. We never make that mistake again. We make new mistakes.
No, shoe menders. Nobody likes losing.
It's evolution.
You don't like losing.
I love losing.
Well, how often do you lose?
I've lost for 50 years.
What at?
I'm not going to tell you.
Well, there's no
But
conversation, is there?
But because I've lost and I've learnt, I am now going to be the most successful thing you've seen for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've heard it, actually, Tom.
Yeah.
You heard the CD, because you said something off it.
I don't know what this bloke's talking about. I really don't. You get all sorts of nutters, don't you, coming up when you try and have a sensible conversation about sport. See, I mean, I know my sport. I'm on home ground with sport. And the English want to win, big as anybody else, but they're clever. They get their excuse in first in case they don't, which is that, it's not all about winning. I mean, all that nonsense up over the gates of Wimbledon about if you can meet with triumph and disaster and meet those twin imposters both the same. Whoa. David calls from Birmingham. You're on Talk Radio. Hello, David.
Hello, Tommy.
David.
Yeah, I mean, you're on about Owen and things like that. I mean, the press are always telling the cricketers to pick certain players because they're doing well for the county sides. And then the same people then, when they go and get a duck on their first innings, these are the same people who are criticising selectors for picking them.
Yeah.
And the other thing as well on lose, have you noticed with English as well that if you're in the pub and someone's talking about a relative whose business has gone bust or they seem to almost like rejoice in in talking about it. As if like, they're rejoicing in other people's failure.
Well, we do enjoy other people's failure, don't we? Certainly I know that nobody is pleased but anybody else has done well.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get a nice car, never drive it round the corner to the pub for a quick half of shandy because they'll all hate you for it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know?
I know. I mean, believe it or not, I'm in business, and when I have a new car sometimes to see certain customers, I have to park the car round the corner.
Yeah.
I've even gone in my wife's car sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you detect that people thinking, why should I give him more business? He's making money out of me. Well, you're not. You're just working hard and trying to get on in life.
Absolutely. You know the bloke those have you ever seen in jewellers' shops? Those model houses, those sort of cottagey model houses. Yeah. Apparently the bloke who turns those out, he's doing very well now.
I think it's Lilliput, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he tells the story that when he started, nobody would buy them off him. Nobody would put them in their shop windows and try and sell them for him until he turned up looking like a loser.
Yeah.
And then they put them in the shop window because they took pity on him. And now he's a millionaire.
Exactly.
Thanks for your call, David. Free call 0500 1053 89. But, you know, love them or loathe them, and the English don't like the English, actually. The fact of the matter is that pound for pound, penny for penny, England is the most successful sporting nation on earth. They are. They just are. Apart from the fact that they invented most of the major sports that the rest of the world plays. Pound for pound, penny for penny, the English play them better than anybody else. Corey calls from Croydon. Hello, Corey.
Hello?
Hello.
Frank Bruno's not a loser.
You don't think so?
No.
Well,
He's won a couple of fights, though.
he has, and he's lost a couple too.
Yes. The only reason he lost against Mike Tyson, because Mike Tyson is a better boxer.
Yes.
He's a proper boxer, and he trains a lot.
And so was Tim Witherspoon, a better boxer.
It's not about losing, Tommy. It's about winning.
Yes, it is. And so you think Frank Bruno was a winner?
Yeah. And the England teams are winners too.
The England teams are winners?
Yeah. Of course it's not about losing.
No. Corey, thanks ever so much for your call.
Okay.
Are you looking forward to the Holyfield-Lewis fight?
Yes.
Yes?
Yep.
Who's going to win that one?
Probably Holyfield.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
You like your boxing, do you?
Yeah.
Good. Good. Have you heard about this new boy?
No.
Oh, God, this new Londoner. He was in the Commonwealth Games?
Yeah.
Audley Harrison?
Yeah.
Have you seen the size of him?
No. Well, it's about Prince Naseem hasn't lost a fight yet.
No, he hasn't, no.
He's a good... he's not a good boxer because look, Frank Bruno's got the WBC and Prince Naseem's got the lightweight WBC.
Listen, Corey, thanks ever so much for your call. Free call 0500 1053 89. Of course, I suppose the conversation about whether Frank Bruno, Lennox Lewis and Prince Naseem are English is a different phone-in, isn't it? But it's there. Free call 0500 1053 89. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
It's English Day on Talk Radio. It's English Day on Talk Radio with IKEA.
The English are a bunch of winners. If you're English, you've probably got more reason to be proud of your nation than any other nation on earth, and yet more than any other nation on earth, the English deny they're English and deny that they're winners. They tend to say they prefer losing, and they're more interested in the losers. Free call 0500 1053 89. You know, they're a canny lot. Ian calls from Manchester. Ian, good afternoon.
How you doing, Tommy?
All right, you?
Yeah, all right. I was just reverting back to your little point about Michael Owen and about what you were saying about he's not a 90-minute footballer. Were you being sarcastic, or?
No, he's not yet.
Do you reckon?
Not a 90-minute England footballer.
I'd rather see him than Teddy Sheringham. And it's about time he took Rob Lee off that pitch as well. And David Batty as well. David Batty moves from left to right and he's a crab and he can't pass the ball.
That's a different debate. Look, the world's defences have learned how to deal with Michael Owen. You defend deep, you play one on and one off, and you stifle his supply. You just put a man on Beckham and a man on Scholes. Owen isn't going to get anything. He's not going to get a sniff. He's been snuffed out of his last 3 internationals, hasn't he?
Well, I don't know.
Hasn't he?
Well, I don't think they've given him what he can get. You see, you know what I mean? It's Alan Shearer and Michael Owen have been doing other people's jobs on the pitch.
What are you
They're out on the
talking
wing
about?
putting crosses on.
What are you talking about? You know why
crossing the ball in more
You're
than
not
Rob
a
Lee.
tactician, are you, boy?
Of course.
The coach has got the two central strikers going wide in order to free up the middle so that the man who can carry the ball can go through. Unfortunately, the man who can carry the ball is McManaman, and it's a list of one, and he's not fit.
Yeah, and Rob Lee's supposed to be doing that job, and he ain't doing it.
Rob Lee can't carry the ball past
I know he
defenders.
can't. He should be on the pitch.
Well, who are they going to play to do that job then?
Good question.
Exactly.
Another little thing about Britain. Right, since winning the World Cup, we've come so acclimatised to losing because that's all we've done. But it's part of like England's history that we're this great nation and all this, you know, and we're not anymore. And it's about time we faced up to it. And it's just we've come acclimatised to losing.
Well, I don't think that's true.
No,
I don't think that's true. If you look at the boxing, for example, which is probably as pure a sport as there is, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not too into boxing myself. So.
No, but we're practically matching the Yanks at the moment for quality boxers. Certainly headline-grabbing boxers. I mean, American boxing's gone belly up, hasn't it?
That's a bit, yeah.
Let's take athletics, which is another pure sport. Linford Christie just ruled the roost, didn't he, for about 10 or 15 years, and before that, it wasn't a question of who was going to win the mile, it was a question of which Brit was going to win the mile.
Yeah, I mean, there's other sports, like cricket. I mean, tennis we didn't do too well, but now it's coming back, innit? Like, we're getting Tim Henman. It's about time we started getting these good sports from back.
Well, you say it's about time, but if you look at the population of the country and you look at the resources that the country puts into sport, it is not surprising. It is surprising that we've got so many world-class stars, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, where is it? It's in the water? Take Shropshire. Take Shropshire, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, do you know where Shropshire is?
Just about, yeah.
Exactly, just about. And yet every 20 minutes, Shropshire tosses out a world-class sportsman. I mean, we had Sandy Lyle, Ian Woosnam.
Oh, yeah.
And...
he does well today.
Yeah. And they're both Shropshire boys.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. Good point.
Nice to talk to you. Free call 0500 10 53 89. But both of them denied being English. Tell me that. Alan calls from London. Alan, you're on Talk Radio.
Hi, Tommy.
Alan.
How you doing?
I'm well, you?
I'm very well, thanks. I'm a member of the Tartan Army.
Oh, yeah?
And although we absolutely adore it when we win, I think secretly, I might get beheaded for saying this, but we also love it when we lose as well.
What, the Scots?
Yeah, just because it's so funny.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's just great.
It is. When you lose appallingly.
Yeah.
You know, when you're really useless.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what was the most useless Scottish football campaign you think you've ever seen? That World Cup in Mexico was a big disaster, wasn't it? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was pretty poor, yeah.
Somebody sent home for taking drugs.
Yeah.
And then Italia.
Yeah.
That was a disaster.
Just nothing. But I went to this one. I drove down with a couple of my friends down to Leon for this one this year. And everything was just going so well for us. And I went to the Morocco match right at the end. And right at the end of the match, we were all absolutely gutted.
Yeah.
Well, then we walked back to St Etienne, and all the fans were out there cheering us on and stuff. All the other folk were there, and then we all just started laughing.
Yeah.
And it was just brilliant. And we got out and had a few drinks, and then woke up the next morning, and we started the long drive back up.
Listen, while I've got you, I want to ask you a question, because you're that fine thing, by no means unique, an honest Scot. The English. They're embarrassed, aren't they, by the fact that they win so much, considering they're such a small nation? They are winners, aren't they?
Yeah, but I don't like that, though.
I know you don't, but it's true, isn't it?
I suppose so, yeah.
Look at them. 20 or 30 million chinless wonders. They once ruled the world, not that long ago, actually. Apart from golf, which the Scots gave the world, they invented practically every sport on earth. They've had world champions and got world champions in practically everything. How do they do that?
I've got no idea.
But they do, don't they?
Yeah.
It's infuriating, isn't it?
Yeah. Nobody likes you, though.
Well, the English?
No.
They do.
Do they?
Yeah, because if it wasn't for the English, you wouldn't have anybody to rile against.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a pretty good lot, you know. You'd pick them on your side in a fight, wouldn't you? You would.
Probably, yeah. You got plenty of money anyway.
If it was you against two Russians, right, and you could pick either a Frenchman or an Englishman on your side.
I'd probably go for the Frenchman, so I can speak better French than I can speak English.
Yeah, but that's only because they fight dirty. You read about the Pontypridd game? That was a fight. Free call 0500 10 53 89. Margaret calls from Oxford. You're on Talk Radio. Hello, Margaret.
Hi.
Hello.
You've preempted what I was going to say, actually. I don't think that the English hate losers. I think they are embarrassed when they win. Therefore, we don't put all we've got into it. Of course, the exception is wars. If there's a war, then we will always win. Because that's about the only thing that we're any good at. And we put money and all the resources we can into war, but not into sports.
OK, thanks for your call. Here's Mick in Liverpool. You're on Talk Radio. Hello, Mick.
Hello. I was just going to talk about Tim Henman, actually.
OK.
And how I think he'll never win anything until he gets over his mental block about winning.
We celebrated them more, maybe we'd have more. We celebrated people like Mansell and people like Faldo.
Oh, right, so Stuart Pearce put it over the crossbar because if he'd scored it, he wouldn't have got enough acclaim. No.
You don't agree?
No, I can't see that myself.
Can't see it?
And not in the heat of the battle, really.
Faldo.
Oh, right, so Stuart Pearce put it over the crossbar because if he'd scored it, he wouldn't have got enough acclaim. No.
You don't agree?
No, I can't see that myself.
Can't see it?
And not in the heat of the battle, really.
We don't learn from our mistakes. Some other chaps say, oh, we like to lose because we learn from our mistakes. Well, we don't. Football proves that. We lost on penalties last time. We lost on penalties again in the World Cup.
Yeah, but that's just like tossing a coin, isn't it? Winning or losing on penalties.
Well,
it doesn't indicate anything at all.
I think that all the people that are popular, all the people that do win, we don't celebrate them enough.
Well, who are the winning nations in football then?
No, we don't celebrate our winners enough.
No, but you're implying that England are a nation of losers when it comes to football.
Well, yeah, we haven't won the World Cup since 1966.
Well, by that definition, then 191 of the world's nations are losers. That can't be, can it?
Well, yeah, they are. There's only one winner, isn't there?
Yeah. So the only football nation at the moment that's a winner is France?
At the moment, yeah, until...
Is that right?
Yeah, until next time.
And everybody else is losers?
Well, yeah, of course they are.
Do you really see it like that?
Yeah, of course. There's only one winner. You play to be the best, don't you?
But they were only the best that day.
Well, they were the best in the tournament because they won the games, didn't they?
Oh, but that was then. This is now.
Yeah, well, it goes in 4-year circles, doesn't it?
Well, the World Cup does.
Yeah.
But being a winner or a loser, it has to be slightly more complex than having your name on the trophy, isn't it?
I don't agree. Everyone says,
Have you ever run the London Marathon?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, never.
You should try it sometime. Do you know what you find?
What?
The further down the field, the bigger the hero, the bigger the winner.
Yeah, I suppose you're right, yeah.
I know, I'm right. I've done it.
Have you?
I have. I finished 17,981st.
But it was an achievement.
Yeah, I got to the end.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's more of an achievement than a winning that. I suppose it's still being a winner, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
We'll move on.
Well, now, you've got to beat yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you can only beat your best. But all I was saying that, maybe if we did celebrate our winners more, instead of always celebrating the losers, people like Frank Bruno and that, they shouldn't be as popular as they are because they've never done anything. Like, you've won a Mickey Mouse title and lost it.
Thanks for your call. Quick word with Patricia, who calls from London. Patricia, you're on Talk Radio. Hello.
Hello, Tommy.
Hello.
I've been listening to your show, and you've been extolling England and the trophies that England have won so far, with regard to football. Please, may I tell you that in the Irish under-16... China actually executes more people than the rest of the world put together this year. And Sonia O'Sullivan won the World Cross-County Championship at Marrakesh this year. And that's just but a few of the things that we have won this year.
Yeah, you're not as good as the English, though.
But wait a minute, Tommy. We're only 3.5 million people, so when you reckon that out, we're doing rightly. There's another point, if I might ask you. You keep on saying the word...
Where's your tennis player?
Pardon?
Where's your boxer?
Well, we had Barry.
Where's your male sprinter? Where's your male athlete?
Look, listen, we're talking about football, and this is a foreign
What's the state of your rugby team?
Listen, these are foreign games.
When did you last get to the World Cup finals?
Soccer is not a game, it's a foreign game.
Your cricket team wouldn't get in the county championship.
Listen, may I ask you another thing? You keep on using the word British. You keep on saying British. Could you define that word for me, if you please?
No. And nobody's ever been able to?
Well, no, but I can score it for you.
I bet you can't.
All right. For the record, England is one of the two sovereign states, and the Irish Republic, that is the United Kingdom, which is England, Scotland and Wales, together with the Irish Republic, Ireland, share the British Isles. That is the islands that to the northwest of Europe. So there is really no such thing as the word British. You share the British Isles with Ireland. That is England, Scotland and Wales.
She may be right, she may be wrong. All I know is that an awful lot of beheadings had to take place for that to happen. Free call 0500 1053 89. English Day continues on Talk Radio with Peter Dealey. Peter Dealey will be asking if we could put it into a bottle and distill it. What would be the essence of Englishness? Came in like a news flash. I thought the president had been shot again. He's talking to one of the writers of the hit TV show, Cheers, live from Los Angeles. And Mike Allen's guest will be the perfect English gentleman, Patrick McNee, alias John Steed from The Avengers. So stay with us for English Day with IKEA, today here on Talk Radio.
DHL Worldwide Express.
In the week, Charlie McGill pitched up with a challenge for DHL. He had a packet of bitumen paper, big packet of bitumen paper, which he needed to get out to the United Arab Emirates. It all sounded a bit mysterious. I'm sure it's completely above board. The recipient is intended to be Abdul Nazir, and I think we've got Abdul on the line. Hello?
Yes.
Abdul.
Hello, yes.
How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Very well, thank you for asking. Has a package arrived?
Yes, it's arrived today, and I bring it from the main office of the DHL today, and it's fine.
Good. Well, I hope the bitumen paper is going to be useful. He fished.
Sure, it is useful, and it has many things we can use this type of paper here in our country.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. That's magnificent. We'll leave it to everyone's imagination. Abdul, congratulations and thank you. And, well, that brings the DHL Global Challenge to an end for the time being. And the score, you probably would have predicted it if you'd been a gambling person. DHL 13, Challengers 0.
The DHL Global Challenge.
Experimental road markings ahead.
Tommy Boyds, Street Beat Symphony.
Street Beat Symphony with DHL.
The world's #1 international express carrier.
I've been driving in my car. Make it pleasant to drive. Who's gonna drive you home tonight?
Tommy Boyd.
You know what we've taken lying down? Not just motorists, but pedestrians, cyclists, anybody who ever goes near a road, anybody who lives near a road. You know what we've taken that lying down, don't you? Sleeping policemen, speed bumps. Free call 0500 1053 89, but let's give them a rant right now. The fact of the matter is, wouldn't you rather they flatten those speed bumps wherever they are? Particularly those ones that are appallingly made, that seem to be constructed almost, I don't know, like brick walls, so that there's no way that you can go over them without, you think, risking damage to your springs or your shock absorbers or your back axle or your front axle, or maybe if you drive a low vehicle, maybe you've got those lovely spoilers on the front, you're worried about losing the thing. And does it slow you down? It does slow you down, but did you need to be slowed down? Not really, did you? You are a safe driver, aren't you? Of course you are. Free call 0500 1053 89. Join me. Let's hear the clarion cry. Let's flatten those speed bumps. How many times have you been driving along perfectly legally, perfectly safely, in the middle of the night, and there's a speed bump? Boom! Your head hits the roof of the car. You panic for a second. You assume it's a UFO. It's just a speed bump. Just a speed bump? Has anybody ever had an accident because of a speed bump? That's not a rhetorical question. Free call 0500 1053 89. What about cyclists? What about your typical little old lady out walking her Pekingese? Can you actually get your leg over a speed bump? If you have to walk in the gutter because you're Pekingese, you know what I mean. I could have put that better. And what about milkmen? How do milk floats deal with those speed bumps? And what about my new Lotus? Free call 0500 1053 89. Let's get steamrollers back on the road. Let's flatten those speed bumps. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening. Somebody on their local residents association committee who says that they called the council to find out, and the council quoted something like £30,000. They do. For one speed bump. No, I don't know. It's one of those urban myths, isn't it? Like, where can you get hold of a skip? Free call 0500 10 53 89. We're down on speed bumps. Kevin calls from North London. Kevin?
Hello, Tommy.
Speed bumps.
Yeah, it's been absolute bloody nuisance,
Bloody
mate.
nuisance, mate.
Bloody nuisance.
Bloody nuisance.
Muswell Hill Park Road.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Going over them, and they're divided. You get one on either side of the road.
I know, I know.
They're not all the way across.
I know, you come down from the Robin Hood and... Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Straight, well, it's the Woodman.
The Woodman up by the archway, yeah.
That's the one.
I know.
And straight down there, straight over it.
So Jeremy Beadle's on the right there, just at the bottom of that dip.
Is it really?
He used to be. Anyway.
I'll take your word for that.
They're miserable, aren't they?
They certainly are.
Hey?
Took the back box completely off of me exhaust.
No.
Yep.
And what comeback have you got?
Absolutely nothing at the moment. I've wrote to the council.
Yep.
Not interested.
No.
Not interested.
No.
I shouldn't have been going at a speed, but I've learnt now that if you drive between them,
yeah,
well, you're safe as houses.
Thanks for your call. Sorry about your problem there. I wonder if it's a conspiracy theory. I wonder if exhaust manufacturers... I wonder. Peter calls from Surrey. Peter.
Well, I'm convinced they're sponsored by exhaust replacement manufacturers.
Yeah.
I think their advert should be a cross. So when the helicopter can see the traffic jams at night, they can tell you where they are.
Yeah.
And there should be a little stand that has a card that you take at the end.
Yeah.
But I'm convinced the other thing is the conspiracy theorist. I'm sure it's to sell those big 4-track vehicles that Scott Chisholm drives around in.
Yes.
Because if you've got a Lotus or a normal car,
it'll
take the bottom right off it, wouldn't it?
It does. It does. And then there's private speed bumps. These days, an awful lot of car parks.
Oh, yes.
With barriers.
Yes.
Have a speed bump.
Yep.
And you almost have to go vertically up them.
Yeah, well, we've got some round here now that they've got gaps in the middle. So if the emergency services have to come through, it doesn't affect them because the lorries come through on those. So when you're driving, you have to drive along the pavement on the other side of the road, Tommy.
But what do you reckon a speed bump actually costs? Because the council always quote something prohibitive if you inquire because you'd like some in your road.
Well, if it's, I think to have your telephone moved, it's something like 200, well, it's about £120 for 5 metres. So I would have thought at least £250,000. It has to be, doesn't it? With all those people thinking about it.
Peter in Surrey, thank you for your call. Steve calls from Cheshire. Steve, you're on Talk Radio.
Tommy.
Steve.
You ruin your catalytic converters.
Catalytic converters?
Yep. If you I read my handbook. I own a Fiat. Read my handbook. It said don't hit a speed bump at over 5 miles an hour.
Did it?
It could ruin your catalytic converter.
Does your catalytic converter go on the bottom then, underneath?
No, inside. But inside. It's like a ceramic, and apparently the catalytic converter, it cracks it.
Is it?
Yep.
Is it? Whilst we're talking about porcelain...
Yes.
There was this really disarming thing I read in a spy novel the other week. Apparently they make a porcelain gun that doesn't show up on the airport x-rays.
Is that right?
Did you hear that?
I did.
Did you know that?
I didn't.
No, I didn't either. I can't believe that.
But Tommy, the thing is, I bought my car, drove out of the garage, the garage had speed bumps. 10 minutes later you get home and realise your converter's gone.
You're poisoning your neighbourhood.
That's right.
With a filthy car.
That's right. And they're that high, you might as well go on the pavement. You do less damage driving up the curb, don't you?
Steve in Cheshire, thank you for your call. It's Street Beat Symphony with DHL, Worldwide Express. And we're having a go at those speed bumps. Claire's in London. Hi, Claire.
Hi, I cycle into university every day with like a rucksack on my back with hundreds of textbooks in, which means I can't really stand up on my pedals because I'll overbalance.
Yes.
So when you go over these things quite fast sitting down, it really is very painful. You kind of split yourself in half a bit.
Yeah, oh dear, pedal, we don't want to hear about it. Some of these saddles nowadays are so...
I know, they're like razor blades.
Well...
You get off and you're like crossing your legs. And
oh, don't.
Well, it's probably worse for you because you're a bloke, but...
No one will ever know whether it's worse for men or women unless we possibly have the got a transsexual.
I think you could get Dana International to do it for you.
We could ask Dana what was more painful, cycling as a man or as a girl.
Yeah, we have extra problems though with things like, well, we won't go into that though.
Sadly, no. That's for another time, isn't it? What are you studying?
I spoke to you the other day, biology.
Bugs? No,
biology.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Bugs, I know. Thanks for your call.
See you soon.
See you. Free call 0500 10 53 89. And apropos of absolutely nothing, since we were talking about saddles, why do flat jockeys have saddles? They don't need them. They never sit on them. Except when they're being lazy down at the start. They stand for the whole of the race. So you could actually take £6 off a horse's back by not bothering with the saddle, just a girth, a couple of stirrups. Jim calls from Bristol. Jim, you're on Talk Radio.
Hello, speed bumps.
Jim.
We've got this big street that goes around a renowned council estate.
Yeah.
And it's full of speed bumps, right? And what they're there for is for the boy racers. Because they like to fly up and down them.
Yeah. Want to do a kind of an Evel Knievel ramp thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they love that road.
Yeah.
And they just fly up and down it all day. And they don't care about their car.
Well, it's not their car.
No.
It's their dad's car or somebody else's dad's car.
And their dad will have to pay for it, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they're there for.
Thank you for your call. Now here's John, and he calls from Peterborough, and I think John is a sensible person. Hello, John.
Good afternoon, Thomas. How are you?
Good afternoon, Jonathan. I'm well.
Good. I really do think we should have more speed bumps. They should be mandatory, especially in the side roads.
Yeah.
To keep these people who can't drive at a reasonable rate down to what is reasonable. I think everybody should be able to apply for one free and granted. They're wonderful inventions.
Nothing in life is free, John.
I understand that.
And speed bumps are very expensive. I've been quoted £30,000 for one at one end and one at the other end of our road.
Well, as indeed I can get you a skip of any requirement, I'm sure that I can fix you up with a speed bump to your specification at a reasonable price.
Well, what would your specification be? I mean, what is the law relating to speed bumps, John? Do we know?
I don't know.
No, I don't.
I'm sure that there is a British standard, because there is for everything else in life, apparently.
Yes.
And we could apply it to the British Standards Institute.
Yes.
We'd get it done to spec.
Yes.
We'd get your speed bump in. It keeps the speed down. These crazy people who can't drive at reasonable speeds in and around school areas and all the rest of it, I say more speed bumps, the bigger the better.
Well, we don't like you. Free call. No, sort of noble sentiments hidden away there, really, but free call 0500 10 53 89. If you're so stupid that you're going to speed anywhere around a school, then quite frankly, you haven't got the brains to slow down if you saw a speed bump. You wouldn't have the brains to slow down if you saw a gorgeous naked woman trussed to the road in front of you. For goodness sake, surely. Sorry, a private thought that. I'm getting a bit D-mob happy here. It is Friday. Nick calls from South London. Nick, you're on Talk Radio.
Hello, Tommy. Great show, mate.
Yo.
All I want to know is, who do I prosecute? I use the speed bump at 150 mile an hour because my car can go that far.
Yes.
So do I take it out on the car manufacturer or the council?
Well, look, you sound like somebody who can look after himself. Why don't you sue Lord Irving?
That's a good point.
You know.
I mean, it can't be my point because duty of care and everything, the way the law is.
Yeah.
It can't be my fault.
No. Well, you could always take on John Prescott. He's Mott, isn't he?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend.
If he's on the other side of the speed bump, I can go over him.
With our blessing.
Thank you.
Free call 0500 10 53 89. Peter Dealey is next. I look forward to talking with you from 3. Remember the Angry Hour on Monday. I'm Tommy Boyd. This is Talk Radio. There's a good argument for listening.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.